Hi everybody, welcome to another one of our near legendary ghost hunts. Tonight we're hitting you from two places, starting with the church that's behind me. Now, I looked online, found a couple of people that said there was a ghost story of a soldier here. I have traced back into every regiment in the north and every single person that's buried in there, and there's no sign of the soldier concerned. So I looked a little bit deeper and I found a bloody and gory and absolutely disgusting story that attaches where we are with where we're going. But we're starting at Woodhorn Church, the Church of St Mary the Virgin in Woodhorn. Come on in and I'll tell you that story. This is an amazing building, and it's also the oldest church in Northumberland. Not too many people know that, but this, oh, you bugs, there's movement already. And this is much bigger than you think when you start. Now, the church that you can see there, an amazing building, is it started in Saxon times. We're talking late 1000s, 1100s. And then when the Normans arrived, they added bits on. And then Gothic bits were added beyond that. And the story, because of where we are, Woodhorn Colliery is just up the road. We're heading in that direction pretty soon. But we had to come here first. And there's the tower. And I'm going to take you to a place with a bit of a sad and dark history. And it is right now, you've got to go right down from the center, from the tower, to here. Kenny, if you could do a circuit, yeah. Well, you can, because you've got a camera and a mic. Yeah. Watch out now. What you're looking for, can you see this? That road there, yeah, is the A167. Yeah. This spirit that's supposed to haunt this place has been seen by motorists on numerous occasions. So when you're going round on your way back, walk along the outside wall, because this woman's said to be seen leaning on the wall, looking out, or walking along by the wall. That's where she's known. I can even tell you guys the name while Kenny heads off. In 1916, no, yes, 1916, during the First World War, get your dates right, Robson, the mining effort was increased so that people could build weaponry. And there was a disaster. A group of 8 deputies and 5 stonemen and pitmen in general went down to put in new props into a particular seam. One of those deputies was a man called George Hudson. Now, George Hudson and his friends were using candlelight, naked flames, to see where they were going and to see what they were doing. Now, many of you will have heard the phrase fire damp. Fire damp is a mixture of methane that comes from the coal bed, and it can explode. It's a toxic gas. Well, while they were down there was a huge explosion. 11 men were killed instantly, and 2 others had their entire bodies, all of the skin burnt off it, and they would die in agony not long afterwards. George Hudson was blown into 3 parts, and he was completely unrecognizable. His face had completely gone. Now, this cemetery here at St Mary's isn't even the graveyard where he's buried. He's not buried here at all. But this was the nearest place to where Eleanor Hudson lived with her 2 children. She got chucked out of her house because her husband wasn't working anymore. All of the miners that died, all of their families were put out on the streets, which is horrific. However, 7 weeks after the funeral, there was a knock on the door from a mining representative telling her to get out the house, but there was something that he had to let her have. In a cardboard box was the face of her husband. They'd found it wedged between a roof joist about 30 feet from where the explosion had taken place. And Mary came here and said she wanted to bury it beneath the tower. She actually wanted it buried inside the church, but they wouldn't let her. So they buried it here. She said she went to the very center of the tower. Doof. This is the tower. And she went completely straight down the middle, using everything that she could. And she dug a hole here. Now, you got to remember the rest of her late husband, George Hudson, was in another cemetery. But this was the church she came to. She found a doss house, a cheap room to help raise her kids. And she came here every day to talk to her husband, who's said to be just there. Now, whether he's still there, whether what's underground's eating him away, or a dog dug him up, or a cat, or whatever, we don't know. But her spirit is said to walk the periphery of this cemetery. And she has been known to make herself be known, be seen. She's been seen sobbing. She's been seen even waving at people as they go by. And this is a hell of a place. And what an amazing church. I'm going to just follow the road round and just take a look. Maybe it's necromance just a little bit too. Might as well get straight into it. You anywhere about, Eleanor? Eleanor? Oh my goodness, look at this. What a place. Seen the angel's wings too. If you're there, Eleanor, I'd love to hear from you. Is that you, Eleanor? Eleanor? Hello, Eleanor. Is that you? Tomb's slightly open. I hate to see that. If there's anyone in here, give me your name. Come on, Eleanor. Now, there's another grave that has a story here too. Let me find it. It's by the church. Now, while I was researching this place, I was told that there was said to be a Knights Templar here. A man who escaped when the church tore into Malta to try and kill all of the Knights Templars. And one of them escaped to the Ashington area. Now, we have no absolute proof. However, the clues, if you can see the end of this grave here, the clues are absolutely there. Look at that, clear as day. And we think this could well, in the shape of a cross, a Maltese cross on the end. I'm certain this will be it. Yeah, on both ends, in fact. Amazing. They say he's buried in a church in this area, and this is certainly favourite, and that has been pointed out as the actual grave. I'd love to think that it was. There's graves here going way, way back, and graves below graves. Nature trying to reclaim what it can. Now, don't forget, if you see anything that we might miss, screenshot it, because before we came in here we were fairly certain we saw movement. I have a distant relative in this graveyard. Her name was Rachel Robson. She had two sons, both called John. A husband called John and a son that she named John. She's in here somewhere. So this is actually a family affair. I have no idea where that grave would be, but I would much rather have a direct contact or something from Eleanor Hudson, who we know chose to come here every day. And if it was someone's habit, the chances are, hello, that in spirit they would show themselves. If there's anyone here, talk to me. Sounds like there's a lot of you. Kenny's off in the distance. You can see him. As you know, if you're talking Knights Templar, it's more likely from back then you'd get a stone like that. An awful lot of chit chat. Just heard a noise to my right hand side. Clear as day, like a footstep. Just there. I wonder what that is. See if anybody can identify what that is, Tony. Come on, if there's anything here, talk to us. This is your chance. Yes, a chance. Just repeating what I said. Come on, George. If there's any essence of you left, if you come back for your missus. Saw a little bit of movement up ahead. I'm walking quickly towards it. Saw a bit of movement just here. Just here. The thing is, we mentioned the fact that 13 people died in that disaster at Woodhorn Colliery. A lot of good people lost their lives that day. Yet some of them weren't as badly damaged as George Hudson in his 3 parts with his face torn off. There's a man called Armstrong who looked almost like he was perfectly fit, but his neck was broken. He was lying there, the explosion had barely touched him. His brother, 12 others, and 2 of them literally, their entire bodies stripped of flesh, burnt literally down to the core. They tried so very hard to save them, but to be honest, their bodies just couldn't stand the agony and the pain that they were in, and mercilessly they were taken. Some of them are here, some of those miners. 102 miners died, some of them being buried in this cemetery. 102, and that doesn't even touch the sheer number of other miners that would die of the black spit and monoconiosis and all of those chest-related bronchial conditions that people get when they work in the black. And it's because of the numbers that have died is why we're going to our next place. Now, you all know, if you're a regular ghost hunter, that if you change a house around and you move doors and you change furniture and you change the actual flow of a building, there's a fair chance that if there's any spirit in that neck of the woods, it will respond to that movement and show itself. Well, what if you completely change a couple of square miles? What do you think is going to happen then? Well, it's going to become an epicenter for spirit, and that's why we're going to the place we're going next. But first, let's find Kenny, see if he's caught anything. I saw him doing the rounds before, and then possibly with the camera going, we'll literally tootle 5 minutes down the road as far as we have to go. Let's see if we can find Ken. Obviously, he would be back if he was getting nothing, so hopefully he's been successful. I heard a noise from, no, it was just around the corner. It was where the slabs were on the ground. Around here, where's he gone? I think I can see the light in the distance. We know he's around here somewhere. Yeah, there he is, Kenny. Yeah. You've just found the Knights Templar grave. Yeah. Well done. What did you get anything?
Two here. Not yet. Haven't yet. There's a little. I saw a shadow over there.
See, hang on.
A shadowy kind of thing over there. A couple of screams, like noisy screams.
Really?
Got that? Yeah. I would have got that on the camera.
We had the necromancer on for most of it, so.
Right. Have you seen this one? Really interesting. I'm going to find it now. It's that one. The vessel that obviously.
The Christian of Norway.
Yeah. The vessel was wrecked. Starline, isn't it? Starline.
Yeah. 1850s.
Yeah. So obviously it crashed and he was killed.
How about that?
From Norway, huh? And the other interesting thing I found about this graveyard is all the graves at that side are all women. How is that?
I don't
That
know.
kind of you don't buy a plot, I wouldn't have thought, based on
Next to the girls.
yeah, all women down that end.
Wait, is that where you got the screams then?
Yeah, down that end. But the majority of the graves down there are Hannah, Marianne, Margaret.
Because I've got a distant relative
Uh-huh.
called Rachel Robson
Right.
who married a man called Harper.
Uh-huh.
And Harper's here, and on his gravestone with John Robson, the son, and John Robson's son, John Jr., they're all in the same plot.
I've just seen a one like that where one died 11 months, one died 7-year-old, one died 30. It's just up here somewhere. Have you seen that one? I've just been reading actually. And you're thinking,
But was it Robson?
I'm not sure. But I'm thinking how unlucky are that family. Do you know?
Kenny, we could be here forever. We got a fair bit to do.
Right.
I think we should maybe saddle up.
Yeah.
Did you get anything that's like the 5% that we look for?
Well, when I turned around and saw like a quick black shadow, that was a bit.
Could it have been car headlighty or?
There wasn't a car at the time, so no. But I definitely got it. And the other weird thing is, set it back from all of these graves, there's 3 graves in the corner. And when I'm going up, it's like the 3 wise men, but every one of them's women as well, with women's names on. There's 3 graves by themselves.
Well, you can have wise women, you know.
But it's weird, isn't it?
It is strange. I don't understand why they'd all be women.
The 3 of them right in the corner, all by themselves, set away from all the rest. As if we are higher, almighty,
Right.
kind of thing. I just didn't get it.
Right, come on, let's head to our next target. What a church though, isn't this amazing?
Amazing.
You can tell it's and it looks like it's been added to and added to and added to, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But yeah, that's nice. There's 2 Knights Templar ones there. One really cool.
Well, we know there's a Knights Templar here somewhere, Kenny, but if you come down here, I know, and it looks amazing, and it looks the most likely because it's got the sword-styled cross on the top. But then you wonder if they'd come all the way from Malta to escape, are they not more likely to have something like that? Don't know how wealthy they would have been. Anyway, let's move. Keep our eyes peeled. I know everybody at home will be too. Kenny, touch that and tell me what you feel. Explain that.
You can't, can you?
Sheet ice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sheet ice.
How is that?
I know it's stone, but they're all stone.
That is like, as if it's got a covering
Yeah,
of ice.
yeah. Can't explain it. I know it's been wet, but it
Yeah,
doesn't look soaking, does it?
No, it's not, but it is. It's like, oh, spider there.
Yeah,
But it's like a covering of ice on it, isn't it?
yeah.
That's what it feels
Just
like.
it's
Like a block of ice.
total ice. I'm going to necromance all the way back,
Oh,
and then we're on our way again. Amazing. It's funny, you know, because you know we've been talking about the explosion in the pit in 1916 when the Newcastle Journal newspaper, when they publicised it, they printed a story and they said that it wasn't a pit explosion, it was a bomb dropped by a Zeppelin that had landed directly through one of the air vents all the way down to the pit face and exploded. Now that wasn't true, and they ended up having to tell the truth the following morning. But just while we're walking, let me read the names out of the people who died in that incident. See if we can get any of them coming through. David Armstrong was found just with his neck broken next to his dead pit pony. He left 9 children, and they were all thrown out on the streets by the pit to give the house to another living miner. So the people who died were David Armstrong, his brother Thomas, Robert Hindmarsh, George Blair, Daniel Harrison, Joe Harrogate, Joseph Hodgson, George Hudson, and we're just at the edge where George's face is said to lie, Wally Hughes, Jody Marshall, John Patterson, Edward Walton, and Ralph Howard. If any of you guys are hanging about and you would like a chat, now's the moment. Going to give you that opportunity. Come on, guys. We're heading out now. Talk to us. Just told me to stop here. And I wonder, can you make that out, Tony? Knock your torch off, Kenny. It just told us to stop there. Sorry? Mary. Did you just say Mary there? That's Mary. Told us to stop. Mary. Mary Emma. Mary, is that you? Mary? Did you get Mary again?
Yes.
Morris. Say Morris for us. Morris. Mary. We're here, you told us to stop. You were 84. Or were you? How old was Mary? Remembrance of Mary. 57.
Died at
New Biggin. That was cool. Mary. I know that's easy. Yeah. It's supposed to be resemblant of Jesus being the Lamb of Christ, you see. So that'll be Jesus there, I'm guessing.
Mary had a little lamb.
Mary and the Lamb of Christ. What the hell was that? Just so something dark moving about. What's over there? And that's where George is, or George's face.
Person, isn't it? Have you seen that?
I thought it was a plaque.
It's a plaque which is the shape of a person, isn't it?
Is it? George, we're coming back to you. Oh, it is. It's probably a saint.
That's definitely a person.
Yeah, absolutely. But Eleanor Hudson said that she went to the top of the tower and came straight down the middle using the plaque. Now that's the plaque she would have used.
Yeah.
It makes you, it brings you,
It just brings it home.
it does have, oh, did you hear that bit of FU going on there? Sorry, George, if we're standing in your face, son. Somebody just told me to stop there, and the other one told me to F. I'm sorry, we are going, we're going, we said we were going. Just feels like there's a lot going on in here, doesn't it? I just think we got to go. He doesn't think we should leave it. I don't either. So you're hearing this? I don't think I should leave. I don't. Because we haven't even looked down there, have we?
No. Not at all.
Oh. Well, there's a little gate on the opposite side. I think we might be able to get in this way too. Did you say something, Tony?
Well, I did ask a question about can you get down there?
Oh, right.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, it does. But it's this wall here next to the road where Eleanor's supposed to be, you see. And do you notice when we started talking about something else, they just seems like they're listening.
And joining, having a conversation.
Yeah? Talk to us. Yeah, absolutely. Wall, it's just said.
It's just a conversation.
It just seems like it. Is this where Eleanor is? Yes.
Yes, straight away.
Thank you. Did it say catch? Do we have to catch you, Eleanor? Is that what you're saying? Catch you. I know you're not happy. I understand that. We're doing this with respect. So it's along this wall. It was funny, Kenny, because while I was talking about the Knights Templar,
Yeah.
I stood over there, kind of next to a cross, possibly that cross there, do you see it?
Yeah.
And that cross lit up the gravestone behind it,
Right.
and made it look like the chest of a, do you see how
Yeah, got you.
it looked like the chest of a crusader?
Yeah, there.
Can you make that out, Tony? Can you see the reflection of the cross on the grave? It just seemed really relevant. Yeah, like the chest plate of a crusader. Right, well, we're here